Masquerade breach.
We're proving vampires exist.
Well, bullshit. Alright.
Black Wolf heard something for a second.
Okay, now I figured out what was going on because it was being stupid. OBS did not detect what the fuck was going on with all of my audio. So yeah, I was
Jeez
introing the whole
Louise.
damn thing
All
with
right, I'm
no
just gonna
audio.
speak a bit just to see if I hear it, and yeah. Okay, I'm just catching up. There we go. I hear you.
I'm a professional streamer, guys.
Round two.
Round
Fight.
2. Alright, well, hi guys. Welcome to San Antonio by Night, episode 2. Off to a rocky start, as is customary with this channel. Um, so to recap the recap, um, the coterie, the host, has been kind of settling themselves in character for the last 2 weeks, and when we in the last episode we spent a night with the coterie, um, and they kind of walked around their domain and kind of got the lay of the land, kind of interacting with each other, and we got to see a little bit of that. And at the end of the night, the coterie was visited by their Baron Delgado, and were given some information provided to the Baron from another source, which um, the coterie hasn't really determined. It could be a Nosferatu, it could be somebody else that they know. The Baron only really said that. Um, and so they have been tasked with finding a potential masquerade breach that has more or less been cleaned up, but there's still some investigating that they need to do to be able to track down this Thinblood, because it has not been seen since. So, the uh, coterie hopes to investigate what information uh, may be available to them in order to uh, bring this person before the Baron for inappropriate treatment. So, um, let's get a little bit of a character opinion of things that have been going on from our different characters. So, um, who kind of wants to put their thoughts forward first? Let me go ahead and get some music going.
Don't everybody speak up at once now. Sure. Urian is concerned. It ends up meaning that not only is this poacher here causing a ruckus and a potential masquerade breach, but it is also something that must be handled expediently. The fact that Delgado ended up approaching our own haven, well, that shouldn't have speaking for the concern itself, though it does make me wonder. I am currently mulling over how it would have been done, the cleanup operations. And if that is the case, that is someone we can speak to as to the locations, as to, well, who I may need to end up speaking to in order to get an identification of some sort. I believe I can end up finding that out in due time. Perhaps feeding habits or unusual activity in the underworld. I will be doing some contacts, especially with the individual who calls herself Doc. Once that has been established, and once we manage to end up finding all the loose details, we should be prepared for confrontation. If this is a violent individual, or so it has been said, and if that is the case, then we need to end up being ready for anything. More the pity that I have one so young to work with. don't fully understand what they are, having to expend themselves, so still, fire forges steel. We will see what sort of fledglings become neonites this night.
I guess is mulling over just what she can do in this situation. There's very little that she feel like she can apply herself with, but she wants to get it handled as quickly as possible. But with that would come risk. And Urian seems to have a plan as usual, so I plan to follow. I plan to aid and get this situation taken care of as soon as possible.
Oof. All right. Wolf is thinking, wow, Delgado, a baron, came to our haven specifically. That's a little unnerving. For one, he knows where we live. And two, he knows where we live. Best case scenario, though, with this poacher, the coterie is able to apprehend the poacher with as little violence as possible, but that's wishful thinking on Wolf's part. He wants, more than anything, to just allow the circumstances for no one to necessarily be horribly, terribly injured if he can get away with that. And so far, many people have been injured. So he wants to get that done, get that out of the way, and then from there on, Wolf has his own errands to accomplish.
Definitely sounds like a busy night.
Mm-hmm.
So, we will be starting the night anew since Delgado had left you all just as the sun was about to rise here in the Alamo City. And so, what I would like everyone to do is go ahead and roll me a rouse check. Urian, your beast is getting very hungry.
And if the worst comes to worst, it may need to be satiated this night.
You're not doing so much better either.
Well, it will come with time. Keep the beast unmaintained. I have no interest in embarrassing myself this night.
The last thing you need is an embarrassment, isn't it?
Yes, that is understandable. How had the others fared, however?
It looks like M and Wolf are all three of you are feeling a little bit more hungry tonight. So, you wake up at the delightful disappearance of the sun. And have you all spent the night at the Coterie Haven, or have you spent the night separately?
M would have remained at the Coterie Haven.
Wolf would have remained at the haven purely out of convenience. Not easy to get around.
That's entirely fair. So, with everyone waking up just a little bit hungry, those little pains in the stomach, maybe in the back of your mind, churning a little bit, scratching a little bit, just itching for a little bit of that crimson delight. What do you plan to do?
I think the first thing I'll do is scrounge around and try to find one of my blood bags.
Do you
See
have?
if there's any left.
How many would you have kept? What?
Probably like 2 or 3. But I feel like by this time, it would be iffy if she'd have some left.
I'm gonna go high or low.
Let's do low.
Right. Sadly, there isn't one.
Oh, gosh.
Nope. Seems like your fridge is out of luck tonight. Looks like you might have to go and stock up.
She looks at the empty fridge. It's disappointing. And a tinge of anger kind of flows through her as she slams the door shut.
Nothing left in the fridge. We have to go find more.
I can't believe I was stupid enough to forget. Now I have to deal with Carlos.
He's a tasty morsel, isn't he? He would be.
He's frustrating.
Could always just eat him. That would solve your problems right now.
No. Just the blood bags. Just the blood bags.
Making it difficult for yourself.
To Wolf's convenience, he was thinking of doing a little more mapping around the city. That is, areas that within sewer systems or alleyways that he can crawl around through pretty easily. Just the perfect time to go ahead and do a little hunt, I guess. Hunger it. Best make use of this form, after all. So Wolf's gonna do that.
Okay. So are y'all wanting to hunt around in your domain freely, or are you going to do it individually, together? What are we planning on doing here?
Wolf looks over to M, curious. He kind of leans over and peers into the fridge before she slams it, and then looks back at her. Hungry?
Yeah. Really hungry, actually. How about you?
Absolutely, but I mean, I guess we eat different things.
Yeah. But we could still help each other out, right?
For sure. Is there anything I may assist you with?
Well, I have to run to a place to be able to get my stuff. And it's a little complicated.
Do you need backup?
I'm not sure if I'd want to put you in that position. And I have to go to a hospital to get my stuff. I mostly drink blood bags, if you haven't noticed.
A hospital. Interesting. Which one?
It's the... Oh, snap. What was it again?
That's not too far down the road. It's probably about 10 minutes away. You know of the UT Health Science Center kind of complex that has quite a few hospitals in that particular area. And you tend to go to the UT Medicine campus particularly. And while it's not on your domain, which is a little bit tricky, it does offer the most variety. You could potentially chase after ambulances in your domain if you wanted to, if you didn't want to step on any toes. But that's always risky.
And I hate risks. M kind of just frustratedly steps away from the fridge and kind of looks at Wolf and shrugs, almost not wanting to really think about it at the moment. Something is talking to her and she doesn't like it.
Urian. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if maybe Wolf knew, like, what departments M went to, and if maybe he had connections there somehow.
I don't think we established what hospital you used to work at, but you're a surgeon. You would potentially have had contacts with specific doctors. I don't have any listed right off my head. So.
Do I even know any of my doctor friends?
You know your doctor friends, I just don't have names for them. But
That's valid. We should figure this out.
We should. But yeah, if you wanted to get in contact with some of your doctor friends, they would obviously know you and be able to help you. Maybe because it's illegitimate, you might need a little bit more in the way of criminal contact. But you all do know that a person named Vince has been kind of assisting you with some of the more illicit things you might need.
That's right, Vince. Ah, yeah, my buddy Vince.
The only problem is, Wolf, your voice has probably changed a little bit since your transformation.
Oh yeah, he's got a big low voice. So he he wouldn't be able to necessarily talk on the phone or anything. He'd need like a. But I mean, having a rep go ahead, give a call up to Vince, and if Vince had contacts into the offices at the hospital and medical facilities, that would be pretty good to work around. So then M wouldn't have to deal with Carlos.
Let me take a look here and see what it is that Vince would be able to potentially do for you. Okay. I'm a pleb and I don't know what this is supposed to do. Give me 2 seconds here. Because he is able to get you quite a bit of things, but blood bags might be a little tricky. He'd probably need a night or two to be able to acquire them, but they would definitely come at a price. And might be able to get you 1. And those things, cash-wise, tend to run about $500 at the hospital.
That's right. That stuff's expensive.
So, if he had the resources to be able to do it, obviously he'd be more than willing to take cash. Cash. But,
Well, after all of that brainstorming, Wolf peers over to Urian, who clearly had something to say.
Well, it's not that Urian had something to say or even wanted to interject. He sits in that tiny balcony just above the house that they are currently staying in, more of a cabin. Very, very tiny atrium. And he watches. He seems pleased as he ends up looking at M and Wolf, how they work together, how they are trying to aid one another in this problem. He feels as though he could assist, but in this case, perhaps there is more to be gained by remaining silent. He has no doubt that he could assist, having them gain, but is it the right thing to do to assist a fledgling when they are on the cusp of understanding, especially when they are working so well together? He simply smiles with a bit of pride upon his two charges. He waits when they will come to him if they are feeling the need. However, it's at this point he may need to go for a walk to give a call to some old friends. There's a payphone not far off from the street. He was sure to make sure that they did not tear it down.
Been doing a
They're
lot of that
becoming a
lately.
lost art these days.
That they are. There's very few with the modern cell phone being much more powerful, even sometimes side by side powerful to some modern computers these days. Payphones are becoming obsolete. Nobody carries cash anymore.
Yes. Still, he'll wait for them to resolve, perhaps going to feed. If they wish for his assistance, he will be the first to offer. But he does not want to interject. They need to grow, to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. Still, for how far they've come, he does smile, and he is proud of them.
Wolf looks at him. So I have this friend named Vince. We used to be buddies back in college, and he's been pretty good to me in a lot of different ways. Helps me out in quite a few jams, but I think it's possible we could work out sort of transaction to get you blood bags semi-consistently, not exceedingly, but regular enough that you wouldn't necessarily be in any emergency if we can get away with it. I just think he would probably need something in return. Money-wise, I think I'm fairly set. Fairly, but not for
yeah.
long.
I'd be grateful if we could do something like that, but I'm not so sure how long I can wait now. What about yourself? How are you feeling, Wolf?
I feel, well, he scratches the back of his head, leaning very easily into his shoulders. I mean, I have avoided human blood. I tend to go after animals as best I can. So frankly, I don't think I'm in any particular disposition where anything is really difficult for me. It's just one evening of searching. But, I mean, if I can help you out, that would be my honor, I guess.
I'd be grateful, Wolf. Honestly, we've only got each other, right?
Yeah. Wolf
So,
avoids his eyes If he could blush, he would.
She kind of reaches out and pats Wolf's shoulder and kind of gives a faint-hearted smile. Well, I think we should discuss what we should do to kind of to Urian, just so we can get on the same page. He is a part of this too.
I agree. And he also helped me out. I mean, you both did.
Well, let's go find him.
He's not hard to find. You might even be able to take a look up him and notice him on the balcony. He seems to have his nose in the book, reading, writing down small notes, all in cryptic missives, nothing specific, nothing that is tiable to vampiric existence, though some are musings. It's at this point he looks to the both of you. With the closing of a book, starts to make his way down the tiny, rickety spiral staircase made of cheap iron. And, well, it's not exactly paradise in here, but he does end up coming to you with a smile. So, you two have decided what it is you wish to do this evening, yes?
Well, by looks of things, we're pretty hungry. And secondly, I don't know. This poacher thing is.
Has been on my mind as well. I've given it much thought. Still, at this point, neither of you can continue to operate if you are famished. So, how would you like to proceed? Or are you unsure on how to go about said things?
I was thinking. I mean, I guess M drinks out of those blood bags, which is understandable. I myself, I'm not too worried. I feel like I could find food pretty easily.
Yes, to feed on animals. I try to forgive me, Wolf. I try to end up accepting that you do such things, but it is beneath you.
It's just like a rare steak at this point.
No. Oh, you have not experienced, child. You have not experienced the warmth and the love, tasting of crimson by day. But this is for another time. I have no interest in debating how it is to end up feeding. Suffice it to say, you two need for food, you need sustenance, and I am here to assist in that matter. So, as far as bags, I have someone I can reach out to end up assisting in such things. As for the hunt, well, at the very least I can herd squirrels towards you, if that is truly what you want.
Nah, I think I've got that handled. But I was thinking, I have a friend who would also be able to help supply us with blood bags for M, though it may be more intermittent, but it would have some consistency with it. With that, though, he would probably need something in return. Money is one thing, but I don't know for how long my funds will last on that.
And so we find ourselves thinking of the small details The ones that could end up assisting in developing. Very well. If it is the way you wish it to be, I will continue to assist. You require bagged blood. We shall find a way to deliver it. Still, I do not understand why you did not take from the Kai.
It's
All
easier.
things. Perhaps not. I, your talents almost gift you to make feeding less of a challenge. And I don't know why you would hesitate to give yourself the luxury of feeding proper. But that is neither here nor there. I will end up making a few phone calls upon your behalf. And, well, if there is anything else you two need, you end up allowing me to know. Is there anything else?
With you calling your contacts and M's eyes kind of narrow, is that gonna come out at price too?
All things do. And it has already been paid.
M just kind of looks at Urian confused.
He seems to enjoy your confusion. So, that being said, I will see what I can acquire for you. As for myself, I also feel the need, but at another time. I have the experience to run with very little vitae in my veins. But for newer kindred, I would not have you risk yourself So, with that, I will be off. I will return in probably 15 minutes. This conversation will have taken longer, I'm sure. And when I return, we will have at least an inkling as to where to begin our search. If either of you have an idea as to where to look, by all means, speak up.
Sounds good. Thank God we have you. Face that I don't have.
By the end of this night, it will be us who thanks you. This is why I offer to keep you fed. I am not above chasing squirrels, if it is to help a young one.
It's
Though
appreciated.
you say that now. By night's end, perhaps not so much, but that time will come. Until then, I wish you both good hunt, and I hope for good news to be delivered unto your ears. Good evening.
M kind of waves at Urian as he's leaving. I wish you luck.
Funny thing is, out of all the years I have looked, everybody has the saying, I wish you luck. I've never been able to catch it.
Alright, so is it that Urian is making a phone call and doing something on his own, and the other two are out to hunt? Or what are we doing here?
You are correct.
If Wolf wouldn't mind, M would persistently kind of ask him to join just to watch his hunt.
Ah, That's perfectly fine.
She just wants to. She kind of vocalizes that she wants to make sure that she has your back.
Ah. He
Hey.
nods and smiles, his teeth sharp in his mouth.
Precious. She says that to him.
With that though, Wolf kind of like starts looking around, turns to M. Do you have a pen? I can write down Vince's number. I feel like all you have to do really is probably just give him a call up, tell him Dante told you to contact him. From there, just ask what you need. I feel like I can probably figure out the rest in due time. But
M kind of pats down her pants and stuff to see if she has a pen. I don't seem to have a pen on me. Well,
a phone?
do I have a phone?
Yeah, you have a phone. It's basic.
Yeah, she takes out her phone.
Well, that works all the better.
Yeah, here you go.
And Wolf just like types in the number as gently as he can, and then hands the phone
doing
back.
a pointer finger thing.
Yeah, he's like doing it with his pinky finger.
Well, let's get you situated real quick, Wolf. Keep our hands busy while you're in Soleil.
Sounds good. And from this point, Wolf is gonna go hunt around within the haven, see if he can find himself some small rodents and like a raccoon or something.
Okay. So this is the first actual feeding scene of San Antonio by Nate. So with that in mind, I'm gonna look at some coterie stats here. Alright, so with that in mind, go ahead and Wolf roll me a composure plus animal ken. And M, are you assisting in any way, or are you just simply watching?
I feel like she'd probably keep her eyes and ears open to see if there would be any prey around for him, just so she could make it easier on him.
Okay. Wolf, go ahead and do that at a modifier of +1. And just enter 1. Don't hit a plus in there when you find the box. Oh. Oh my. Wolf is not having any luck at all right now.
Not a critical failure.
Not a critical failure. But it's definitely... Do you want to spend a willpower to re-roll 3 of those dice? Try and get 3 successes?
Potentially, I might. Let's do that.
Because with your chase, it is a difficulty 3+, so...
Oh, okay, yeah, let's try that again.
You actually have a fairly good domain for where you're at, so... There's the willpower reroll button on the character sheet, and you can just enter 3. Yes, Wolf, you should be at 2 hunger as well, which is at the bottom of your character sheet. You do have to remember to mark that, because I'm going to make sure...
Alright. Okay, I got it fixed. Okay, where's the willpower reroll?
Willpower reroll is next to your willpower bar.
Oh, there it is. Whee! Do I just click submit?
If it says 3 in the box, yep.
3? Okay.
2 successes is still gonna be a little bit rough. You're not able to find enough to really sustain you to slake any hunger right now, and you spend probably a good half an hour trying to do so, and it's just not working out for you right now. So,
Will it be like that sometimes?
on your character sheet, since you did spend that willpower to do so, go to your willpower bar and click on one of the green marks until it turns into a single slash, not an X.
Got it.
So, you can at any point spend willpower to reroll 3 dice out of a skill, a maximum of 3 dice. When you have regular failures that you want to reroll, not hunger failures, those are locked in permanently. So,
Got it.
Think of it this way: the hungrier you get, the harder it is for you to keep yourself in check. So you can't re-roll dice that are hunger die. So so long as you have willpower, you can keep using the re-rolls. But if you're too hungry, you might have no dice you can change because no matter the willpower, you have more hunger dice than you have actual dice to roll.
exactly. I've been in that situation. So yeah.
Would it be at all possible for M to try to catch something for him as she sees him struggling to find stuff?
Wolf, did you roll that at a +1 modifier?
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was your assist.
Oh, okay.
'Cause yeah.
Well, things happen. After struggling for a bit, Wolf eventually returns to M and just kind of sighs, shrugs. Well, animals, wild animals. What can you do?
Not much luck then.
Yeah, urbanization pushes them out. Such is life. Let's focus back to you.
All right. Well, I feel like Urian was making those calls, and I had an idea about maybe. And she kind of leans forward and whispers to Wolf, maybe finding a few hints on that Thinblood.
That's definitely something we can work on.
I think we should probably go back to the house just to make sure there's no listening ears or seeing eyes.
Good call.
And I think they'll probably head back to the house then.
Okay. Luckily, there's not a whole lot of people on the streets. You've been kind of working the area around the haven for the last 2 weeks, figuring out where the little nooks and crannies that Wolf can kind of slink through to be able to get back to the house. It's not terribly difficult, especially since you live in kind of a wooded area inside of an urban environment. So that always makes that pretty easy. So we're gonna cut over to Urian and the phone calls he will be making back at the haven. So Urian, you said that you were calling up your contact Doc.
There are a few things. The first thing, I've been musing while I was upstairs. And the first thing that occurred to me is that Delgado did not tell us anything about where this individual was previously, where the breaches happened. However, a person like Delgado would certainly have somebody who is very good at cleaning up these sorts of messes. I would like to think as to who that would be and see if they would be able to give me where I may be able to find the said, well, place. While I have no doubt that they've been cleaned thoroughly,
Mm,
it is the locations that matter.
that's entirely true. So,
I would assume that would be politics intelligence.
yes, go ahead and roll that.
6 successes.
All right, perfect. You do know of someone actually that Baron Delgado would have employed to be able to clean up this particular mess, and you know him simply by Randy.
By what?
Randy.
Randy.
He tends to be a little bit eccentric. He's definitely one of those who really, really is good at his job at getting rid of evidence of these sorts of things. You do know that he is kindred and that he's Bruja. So, were you wanting to talk to Randy directly?
Most certainly.
Alright. So you are able to give him a quick call.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, Randy. I hope it is Urian. Mr. Urian Doyle.
Ah, Mr. Doyle.
I wish to end up congratulating you on a marvelous piece of work, and I wanted to extend my appreciation.
It's a thankless job for the most part, but I do appreciate that. What can I do for you, Mr. Doyle?
Well, I have some new fresh meat, I guess would be the appropriate term if I am to try and be funny. And at this point, I am needing to end up expressing to them the importance of your job and seeing how things are done correctly. Now, given recent circumstances, I am hoping to acquire some information as to where these unfortunate circumstances did in fact take place. I am here to take a look for the culprit, and I would not insult you by assuming you left anything out. So,
Of course not.
if no, of course not. So I wanted to be sure that they end up knowing what thoroughness truly means. Given my own lineage, you can imagine an appreciation for such things.
Definitely. Well, since Delgado's got you on that task for taking care of the culprit, as it were, slippery bastard.
So I'm told.
Yeah, he's a slippery one. But, yeah, it turns out it happened a little too close to that, goddamn mall down the way. It's not too far from your little sanctuary.
That is impressive. Was it Delgado himself who ended up suggesting to you the location, or were you contacted by somebody else ahead of time? Yeah, I'm fascinated on the response time. That sort of expedience is highly valuable to me.
Well, Delgado is... He didn't call me directly. It was one of them other folks his name Clovis, I think.
Clovis. Yes, I was suspecting that it would be he that would end up doing so. Still, that it is a little bit curious. What was Clovis doing in the scene?
Fuck if I know.
Yes, that is something of note. Still, it is something that I will get to the bottom of.
Yeah.
But you, Randy, I wish to expressing a certain degree of gratitude. And if I were to find myself in a position of needing such skills, I want you to end up knowing that I hold yours as the highest standard in regard.
Definitely comes pricey, but I'm the best. People pay for the best.
As they should. And I hope that if you find yourself needing of someone with a bit more experience, perhaps I will be able to assist as well. Given the two charges I currently occupy, that occupy my time, I wish for them to end up understanding the full gravity of our situation. And as you said, yours is a thankless task, but more necessary than people ever truly acknowledge.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Doyle. If ever you need my services, you know how to call me.
I make sure to end up knowing how to contact all those who are within note. You most certainly are an outstanding specimen in that regard, especially given your predicament, I imagine. But I will say no more of it.
Well, hopefully you're able to find this slippery bastard, because he's on your turf. So,
You speak as though you've already tried to look into this yourself.
I am not exactly the biggest on finding different people.
But he has been looked for before, given what you've said.
Yeah, like I said, slippery bastard.
And would this be, let me kind of think about it for a moment. Would this be Clovis who was supposed to be watching over this slippery bastard?
I really don't know, to be honest.
Well, either way, I will find out. And when I do, I will make sure all parties concerned are well placed, treated accordingly as to our arrangement and our great burdens. Thank you very much, Mr. Randy, and I appreciate your time. Have a fantastic evening.
You as well, Mr. Doyle. And he hangs up.
Fantastic. Now, two more quick calls while the children go and hunt. The first one is to Clovis. I've shown no animosity to him, but we will need to speak very, very soon.
Okay.
So I might want to arrange that.
You do get that he is busy this night. He has a lot of research to do at the moment, but he would be willing to speak with you possibly tomorrow night.
Then I would look forward to it.
Fantastic.
The sad truth is, I think Urian's thinking in his own mind. Not accepting my call. What secrets are you trying to hide from me? That being said, the last call is to Doc.
And you definitely know how to get directly in contact with her, even though it is a little bit slippery, seeing as she has a lot of workarounds to make sure that the right people are only getting in contact with her. But you do reach her.
Mm, yes. What's up, Doc?
Hmm. Funny as ever.
Well, I try to be. I hope that the evening finds you well.
It does, actually. Have had some very interesting cases.
Oh, how so?
Hmm. Doctor patient confidentiality, I'm sorry.
But all still above the ground, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure, yes.
Yes.
What is it that I can help you with, Mr. Doyle?
Ah, well, a few odd things, truthfully.
Phew.
And, uh, yes. At this point, I have been somewhat worried that there has been a recent outbreak of iron deficiencies in my local area, as well as potential work that should remain outside of normal hospitals and autopsies. I am led to believe that these things may be occurring a little close to home, and my own charges I worry for. It is not an easy path we walk, but as Satan as our guide, we will end up continuing onward. But I wish to end up looking for their safety first and foremost.
Ah,
So, if you tell me that there may be the possibility of something I should know, and perhaps, while you may not be able to speak, somebody else may, that would be considered very useful. And the last piece on the agenda is we are performing ceremony on tonight, on the most holy of nights. And
I was not
we
aware.
will. It is, well, you know that the government does not wish to end up acknowledging our own holidays, so we must celebrate them at our own accord.
That's entirely judgmental of them.
The small minds end up tending to be so. But, unfortunately, that also means there is a particular old ritual I'd like to end up practicing for the congregation, however, would require that of a human blood. Now, obviously, I'm not going to ask somebody to slit their throats on a fucking altar.
No, how horrid.
No, but it would require me to end up having at least a few bags as such. And of course, Doc, I will end up compensating you accordingly, as well as those wonderful bouquets that you do enjoy. I wish to end up sitting having a conversation with you further, but as you know, at this point I have a ritual to perform, and, well, the sacred hour is soon to be at hand.
Were you performing tonight?
That is the hope. I'm hoping to invite you to a ceremony soon to spectate.
I would certainly enjoy that. It's going to be pretty costly to get something tonight. I might be able to get something to you in the next couple of nights for cheaper.
I will. It will take some time to end up organizing the payment, so in doing so, I will most certainly be grateful to end up doing so. I will make amends to make sure that if I get the opportunity to end up having said substance acquired on a more regular basis, if this particular ceremony is a hit with the locals, as few as they are, they deserve the best, but there's only so much a poor priest of my own, as myself, would probably be able to afford. But I would not insult you by demanding a tribute.
A regular basis, you say?
Well, if that is of interest to you, I certainly believe it is, and I think certain pleasures you wish to end up experience that you do not get to do so in office hours.
I'm definitely intrigued. I definitely want to be invited the next time.
Most certainly. But for now, I must keep it closed doors, lest the churches start showing up on my lawn.
There's one every block.
Yes. But perhaps in a few years I will end up having my own open, a church dedicated to the Lord of Lies, Beelzebub. Praise his name. Do you think you can arrange such a thing for me, Doc?
On a regular basis, I could... Well, how regular are we talking here, Mr. Doyle?
Specifics would end up being required. Knowledge, and I would probably end up saying that maybe once a week. Right now it's only depending on how well our ceremony goes for now. But
so the arrangement is for one for now.
For now, just enough for display. I would not offend the ritual by using corn syrup. Some would end up doing the blasphemers.
My goodness, that's terrible. Corn syrup is...
No. But I would also not expect to end up having a proper bit. I'm hoping to end up getting, when the congregation grows larger, a proper donation pool. And if so, I would love to end up having your expertise to end up doing so. And I think you would appreciate a blood drive that might be able to end up fueling your own aspirations.
Of course.
In time. But
In time.
For now, a simple business transaction and information.
Yes, simply the one, and with the possibility of a regular supply. You do understand that that is a very costly to my person as far as the finances and everything, as far as being able to maintain secrecy.
I only come to you because you're the best, Doc.
Very well. I shall be able to procure one for you in 3 days.
In 3 days. Very well. Then on the third night, I will come to you and accept the gift along with payment.
Of course.
That being said, would you have heard anything that might be a concern to me of my congregation's safety in the recent nights? He's pretty sure she can pick up what he's asking and what she might be able to tell him.
I might have to get back to you on that because I don't have information, but I will think of something and write one up for you.
It's quite alright. Still, thank you very much for your time, Doc.
Of course, Mr. Doyle. Always a pleasure doing business with you.
Lovely as always.
Have, your-
Kisses.
have yourself a pleasant night.
He hangs up the phone. Something goes very serious. Well, at least there you go. We got one place to start. And I'm gonna do one last quick phone call before I have to end up getting back to Haven. So, the last one, most certainly, this would not have come up if it were not for the mention of the mole. Now, usually this would not. This would be something oddity. However, given Levy's proclivities and his own small congregation he has begun to end up creating, there is an off chance that somebody may have been at the mall at the given time.
Very interesting. Going to give
So he's going to end up using that contact just to end up seeing if they heard anything. If you want, you can forego the conversation this time for expediency's sake, but I think you get the idea.
Yeah, so upon calling Levy, he has heard that someone was attacked at the mall, but he's not sure who it was, as it wasn't someone that he knew personally. And what the fact that this person was, I don't remember. Did I say that this person was killed or not? I don't remember.
Yeah, because otherwise, why would a cleaner show up?
Yep. So upon this person's death and the subsequent cleanup job of both the paramedics and everything else, he doesn't have any pertinent information as to who may have killed them.
That's quite alright. It gives me enough to go on.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, Levy. I will have a performance ready for you in a few days that may be of interest to you.
Hey man, I am always fucking down.
You're damn right.
You're gonna stop being a wallflower this time?
Oh. My dear Levy, if I were to get involved, I don't think you can handle it. Click.
Delightful. Alright. Anything else you need to do, Yorian?
No, that is all. I need to leave this payphone before somebody starts to get suspicious.
You have been there for about half an hour, maybe an hour. You're not entirely sure.
I'd imagine only about half an hour. It's fairly short conversations and quick to the point.
Yeah. And so you make your way back to the Haven just as M and Wolf are making their way back through the brush and the bushes and the trees.
Good evening, children.
Good evening. How was your walk?
It was enlightening. So, I do apologize I could not procure anything for this night, but in 3 nights I will have something, so I would suggest not overexert yourself just yet. But, how did the hunt go?
Not exactly in my favor, but I mean, I'm not exactly complaining either.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I mean, it's just not fun.
Well, I will not allow you to starve. So, I think now would be a fantastic time to go for a little bit of shopping.
Oh?
Well, Unless you are opposed to going to a murder scene.
Nah, I think maybe right now my skills would be best applied there.
Fantastic. And yourself? Oh, do not be shy, Anne.
Sorry, my thing cut out for some reason. And kind of seems a little irritated, but tries to hide it. Yeah, of course we can.
If you're trying to hide it, I want you to roll me a wits plus subterfuge versus Urian's wits insight. If you're trying to hide it.
Unless you're purposely failing it.
There's that.
Like you're saying, I'm trying to, which is very clearly failing, but I am trying.
Continue.
Three successes. And what is it that perturbs you so? What is on your mind? Why stay silent?
Well, I'm frustrated. I want to push. Well, about things I can see, and I wanted to see if I could try to find some sort of hint about the Thinblood, but I don't think I can with this hunger thing going on.
You will. I will guide you. I may not share that same gift, but I can guide it. And I think the first thing to do is to assemble some of the pieces. So, let us go for a trip. Find you a new outfit, perhaps. Or maybe we can end up grabbing Wolf something a little bit more dignified. More specifically, we're going to the location where it happened. And you get to see what a wonderful bit of cleanup our theater cleaner, Randy, can do.
So then you caught the trail.
Yes.
Well, that's always good news. Right. Let's get this out of the way. I feel like the sooner we get done with it, the better.
I agree.
Agreed.
Wolf, do not feel dismayed. I have been at this a lot longer than you have, and I have a benefit of experience. Plus, very little goes outside my notice for long.
I'm grateful for it.
One day you will not be, so hang on to that feeling you have right now. Am I not funny? Oh, well then.
Intimidating.
Given that I am the shortest among you, I take that as a highest compliment, and you honor me with it, Wolf. Now come, let us enjoy the drive. He tosses the keys to him.
Takes them and hops in the driver's seat.
He opens the back panel door for Wolf.
Who clambers in? On cue.
Getting in shotgun. And we're off to the mall.
And that is where we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, so far for watching. We will be back shortly to continue San Antonio by Night. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night. Where we left off, the coterie was going to take a quick visit to a scene of a killing by this Thinblood that they are potentially going to be hunting down soon. So, we pick up with our coterie arriving at this particular site with the mall. And they have been circling with their car. The mall itself right now is closed since it is fairly late in the evening. It usually closes around 9 p.m. It's probably about 11 now. And this is a fairly major mall in the grand scheme of things because it is just off of the inside loop of the city, and it tends to have some pretty high traffic during the day, especially on weekends. But it is empty now. The parking lots are devoid of vehicles. Everyone, including the nighttime cleaning staff, has all but gone home now. And the entire space is well lit. It is... there's not really much in the way of secluded areas except for maybe some entryways for delivery trucks, things of that sort. The scene is yours.
If you don't mind, I think you should park over here. Plenty of dark streets or plenty of dark avenues for Wolf to be able to end up walking freely.
For sure. And she pulls into the area he has pointed out.
The area is probably about 3 or 4 blocks from the actual mall itself. It's a little bit closer to one of the fast food restaurants that are inside that little shopping center there. Not terribly close to the mall itself, but it's maybe a 5-minute walk.
Well, I'm going to look to Wolf. Wolf, you are our eyes and ears. Amongst them, all the kind, there will be someone out there who cannot end up helping but express what they have horribly heard or what the hearsay is. Perhaps somebody has left evidence of some sort, or maybe a witness that has not come forward. Who knows what you will find? But I trust you to find it above all.
There's not a lot I can do socially, but I can definitely sniff out.
We will all go together, and then we will separate. There is certain liberties that must be taken, but the gifts of your blood will end up carrying you through this night. As much as it may pain you, Wolf, learning to accept the beast you are prevent you from becoming the beast you would become. There is nobility in this.
For lack of a better term or phrase, life finds a way, after all.
Or on life in this regard. We are going to, after Wolf has had a chance to look around, we will end up having that little bit of a chat. I'm going to need you to preserve her at Masquerade by signing. You understand sign language, yes?
Mm, I believe so.
Good. I'm going to need you to sign as though I am speaking with you.
Okay.
I will not be speaking with you, but if this goes the way I hope, then it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Now let us get out of this van. I need to stretch my legs. Pardon, I'm getting old.
M steps out of the car as well.
Wolf rolls himself out of the trunk and stretches out a bit, joining the rest of the party.
I am going to start to head towards the site of the murder. And I am going to activate Sense the Unseen.
Perfect. In that regard, let me look at that really quick. Does Sense the Unseen make you have to roll for seeing something that might be hiding?
Only if it is proactively hiding from me.
Okay.
For instance, obfuscate.
Okay. Alright. Well, with your senses opened out into the supernatural, and as you begin to walk, the mall seems the entire area aside from the highway seems quiet, and probably fairly naturally quiet, seeing as there's not a whole lot of people here. There's no one who is actively trying to disguise themselves from you, Urian, and as you walk up to the site, there is something there. It's a small fragment, but it's there.
I am going to approach it. Primarily as though I do not see it.
So you find yourself in a secluded area near one of the delivery docks for this particular mall. You do see that the site has been completely cleaned. There is no traces of anything really left in this particular site.
I am still going to investigate, just in case.
Go for it.
Not to insult his work, but to simply bear witness and confirm my own suspicions.
Okay. And are you going to be spending a lot of time doing this, or are you going to just do it?
No, just a quick glance. I believe Wolf and M will be doing the same, so wits plus investigation. I have a dice pool of 5, so if anybody has a higher dice pool, please let me know. Wits and investigation. M, do you have a higher dice pool than that? Wolf?
I do not.
I only
Okay.
have one of 4, so.
Okay, so I guess since we're just kind of giving it a quick once-over, we'll add 2 dice to it then?
Yes,
One
go
for
ahead
each?
and do that. I'm not sure if the rule means that you have to have a dot in it in order to assist, but I'm gonna go with it.
For what it's worth. Oh, no.
5 successes. You sense the scent of bleach. You sense the scent of other cleaning methods. This is thorough. This is fine tooth comb thorough. This is, however, it is that Randy is able to be to really get into the nitty gritty and really clean this place out. You are impressed because there is nothing left to find here.
That is fantastic. Now you see, childer, kids, there. This is about as good of an ending as one could hope. I find nothing here of interest right now. Do any of you?
Can Wolf go in and investigate kind of the area to see any specific markings or indications, like maybe see if there's any scratches on the wall or if you can pick up a scent?
With the assist to Urian, you all have been kind of looking through all of this, and from what you can tell, this was a fairly clean kill, if anything. There are no scratch marks on the walls. There's no blood splatter left. There's really.
Here's another question.
Mm-hmm.
Can Wolf smell the sense of any sort of chemicals?
You sense bleach, other cleaning materials. It's a plethora. It's actually kind of offensive to most people's noses, and anyone who has heightened senses might actually feel a little bit disgusted by this right now.
He holds his nose.
And so it smells heavily of being cleaned up.
Well, that is fantastic. That being said, Wolf, is there anything you wish to end up going on your own to investigate? I will need M's assistance here, given that you should not be seen.
I'm not sure what else I could possibly do.
As I said, you see that that door at the mall, that dark patch right there. Stand in it. Listen. Observe. When we are ready, we will come summon you. But listen for what others are saying. The mall may be closed, but there is always somebody lurking. There is always something to be seen. He looks around, and in that investigation would be enough to end up saying we can see if there's cameras that would have caught this.
There are cameras, and they're primarily to watch the in and out of the parking lot traffic. There is not really any that would particularly be overseeing the unloading docks. There is one kind of up in the corner that might have seen what had gone on, but you're not entirely positive that it actually points in this direction.
Well, Wolf, please remember to keep your hood up and try not to smile too brightly for the camera. Our masquerade can only be risked so much.
Wolf puts up his hood and to the side of the building and obfuscates.
Okay. So Wolf's going to be proactively listening in on conversations and things that what populace is still here has to say. Though we're still fairly early into the evening. I'm going
Yes.
to need you to stand. And he gestures like, so the thing is between M and himself when he starts to speak. I'm going to need you to sign as you react. I really do not care how you end up or what you speak to me and sign. I simply wish for you to sign for the camera.
All right.
And it's at this point he gestures his gaze a little bit off to start looking at this thing. Get a better view of it.
Okay.
M does begin to sign.
And it does have the vague shape of a person. A man.
Man. Tell me, Spectre, what is your name?
You can see me?
I can. I am gifted as such. And I have to offer you my condolences to your most gruesome of fates.
What happened?
I am trying to determine that. To see that the thing that did this to you is brought to swift justice. What was done to you is considered a crime amongst what I am. And I am here to end up being that justice.
Motherfucker jumped me.
He jumped you.
I was just minding my own fucking business and a motherfucker jumped me.
Who was this individual?
I didn't see his face.
You did not see his face. Attacked from behind. What is your name? Sorry?
It was out of nowhere. My name's Terrence.
Terrence.
Yeah.
Terrence. What is your last name?
Blair.
Lair. Mr. Lair.
Blair
My name
with a
is
B.
Blair. Ah. Thank you very much, Mr. Blair.
You don't have to be that formal, man.
You are here because you are angry. I have no doubt, and you have every right to be. You are attacked from behind. I need you to remember every detail you can. If you've seen him before, if you remember him from anywhere, if you have any idea of a way to end up tracing this individual.
No, it was random. It's motherfucker jumped me, like took my wallet and
He took your wallet.
yeah, I think. I don't quite know.
No. That is good. Those small details are what we're here for, Mr. Belair. Terrence.
Yeah, just Terrence. Terry is fine.
Terry. Terry. If it Do you have anyone in your life that means anything to you?
I mean, everybody's got
Someone.
somebody. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Do my parents know? Does my girlfriend know? I don't know what happened to me. What happened to me? Why am I still at the mall?
Because you are not ready to pass on. Because you are a victim of a violent attack. And because what happened to you, well, I do not believe you would believe me even if I told you, but I will. We call ourselves kindred.
The
We
fuck is
exist.
kindred?
He whispers. A type of monster. And he's making sure he's not looking at anybody, or making sure he's not in view of the cameras when he does this, though he extends his fangs a bit. Not a whole lot, but it makes it very clear that his fangs can retract and that they are there.
Whoa. It's a lot to take in, bro.
You're a ghost at this point. I imagine there's a lot of adjustments to be done. But unfortunately, I cannot end up making this a social call. But I will answer what questions I can, so long as I get the information I need. And at least you know somebody can see you.
Yeah.
Very few dead have the chance to actually change the fate of the living. I speak from experience.
Just fucking find that fucker.
I wish to. You said he took your wallet.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
And your Terrence Blair wallet. You had credit cards, banknotes, anything like that, yes?
I mean, yeah. Everybody uses fucking credit cards these days. Who fucking doesn't?
Yes. Yes, but there is an important distinction, Terrence. The way you died means that those have not been cancelled yet, which means there is a paper trail to be found. There is a chance of finding the thing that did this to you.
Yeah.
And upon your own soul, lost as it may be, I promise you that I will end up seeing him brought to justice, and he will suffer unimaginably for what it is that he has done, because he has committed a grievous crime against us and against you.
Yeah, I was hoping they would get to that part.
If you wish to help, I am willing to extend such hospitality to you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to use my knowledge in occult. Perhaps Terry is still tied to his wallet. Perhaps he's able to sense, or maybe there's something that in his new form, as undiscovered as it is, he might be able to help us guide in. Urian really wants to end up getting this done tonight.
Okay. Intelligence plus occult. Okay, so your knowledge of the occult and of specters and ghosts and things of that sort, you do know that obviously ghosts can be attached to places, people and things. With his death having been so violent in this place, he's definitely stuck here now. Otherwise, he would be chasing down the person who murdered him. There may have been some other reason to also keep him here, and that is why he stayed.
Terry,
Yeah.
I said that this was a crime. This is a crime against my people. And for the safety of all involved, and you are a perfect example as to why I make this offer. To make sure that this does not have to happen again. I need eyes where I cannot see. You can see the people. You can watch them throughout the day and night. And they do not know you. Yes?
No. I mean, if I'm invisible, you're the only person who can see me. I can walk around this place, but I always have to at least come here for a minute.
Then I will extend hospitality to you. I will come visit. And we will look after this place together. This is now your home. As a bound spirit, I will help you with this transition. And I will begin the search for this man.
As long as you get the fucker. That's all I care about.
Yes. Do you remember in your last moments where he may have fled?
Out of the dock thing. I don't know what it's called. It's just a shipping dock, I guess, for trucks. I don't know. Just away. I didn't get a clear look at him.
That is fine, Derek. I will look at it further.
Definitely a him, though.
I will come back in 2 nights, and we will make a moment. I know that they will only see you as missing, gone, disappeared. And while I cannot tell your parents, your sweet girl, I can at least give you an opportunity to see them, if only to watch, if this would please you.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal, I guess. I'm not going anywhere.
Remember, you are my eyes in this moment. And if this kind of perpetration ever happens again, you can live for justice and for vengeance if it does serve you.
Sounds good to me.
I will be leaving now. Good night, Terrence Blair, Guardian.
Never got your name.
We will talk soon. After all, Urian Doyle does not forget his friends.
Fair enough. And with that,
And
Terry fades into the wall.
with that, go ahead.
Nope, just fades into the wall.
Thank you very much, Em. She's probably been signing this whole time and like, what the fuck have you been talking to this entire time?
She's been probably taking note of what he's been saying in her head. What little she can remember, anyways.
Terrence
Not
Blair,
only...
paper trail.
Go ahead. Yep.
Terrence Blair, paper trail. That's it.
Yep. Well, it would appear our dear friend Terry was not only drained, but also robbed. And he gestures towards Wolf. So let's see what Wolf came up with this entire time.
So, Wolf, I would like you to quickly make me a resolve plus awareness.
Resolve plus what?
Awareness, to see if you
Oh.
were able to hear anything. Since you are a little bit of distance away from Urian and M.
That is fair. No modifiers, right?
Nope, unless you have a specialty that says so.
Well,
2 successes. Okay. You don't really hear anything distinct. You hear a lot of background noise from the different things that may be near the wall that you're cloaked up next to.
the AC running behind me.
The AC running behind
Building.
you. Yep. It's pretty powerful for a building this big. Maybe a muffle or two, but nothing clearly distinct.
I have an alternative.
Mhm.
So, was I able to at least hear, like, Urian talking?
I would imagine that you're at least 20 feet away. So
darn.
you might have heard whispers coming from Urian, but it's not coming from the other sounds that you hear, the muffles, are not coming from Urian's direction.
Alright. He's just gonna slink on over there. Stealthily. Carefully.
To the muffles or to Urian?
To Urian to ask him what happened.
Okay. Perfect.
Our dear friend, Terry Blair, was murdered here. He was jumped from behind, drained. In his dying breath, he also was indignantly robbed of his wallet and possessions, leaving behind parents and a sweetheart. He gestures towards the loading docks. The individual ran that way. I think we will be looking for a wallet, and if we can find anything, we will see if we can find cash. If this Thinblood is as new and as inept as I fear, then he may have used credit cards or something along those lines. And if that's the case, perhaps a hotel and phone have been taken. And if that's the case, well, we have a paper trail to follow.
I definitely know someone who could look those things up.
Fantastic. Let us go find the wallet then.
Wolf activates his Eyes of the Beast.
Alright. That grants you...
You see his dark eyes suddenly glow a bright red like an animal in the night.
So this is what it feels like to be on the receiving end of that.
It is quite unnerving. Yep, that definitely gives you no penalties to see in pitch dark, so you are definitely one with superior sight in this particular regard.
From Urian's comment, he kind of like ducks away and avoids eye contact. He's conscious.
There is no one around to observe us, yes? No cameras to catch us in the act?
Um,
We were investigating them earlier, so I think we have a good understanding of when we are and are not within
Yeah.
view.
yeah, you definitely know that if you that they're pointing more towards the parking lot, and if you kind of like scoot under them like you would under under a ladder, you're 100% okay.
Then
It's not super sophisticated.
I will as well assist Wolf in doing so, and I will end up using very much the same, as Urian's eyes glow with the wrath of Satan himself, almost appearing as a fallen angel, his eyes glowing a horrible red. He peers through the night, observing, looking for this piece of evidence, and to ease Wolf, who is still coming to grips with such things. Though perhaps in this moment, Urian stops being Urian, and the true avatar of Satan.
I'm not sure which one is more unnerving, Urian or Wolf, right now with those piercing red, devilish eyes. What do you plan on doing?
Sorry, you're cutting in and out
Oh,
for me.
sorry. What do you plan on doing?
Ah, okay. So both of them have red eyes now.
Mm-hmm. Both are very unnerving looking.
I feel uneasy. I feel like they know what they're doing, but I'm not really sure what they're doing. M just kind of goes quiet for a minute and kind of escapes to a place of thought, thinking about information she's gotten from everybody so far.
Mm.
Alright. Spectre, I think you have the higher wits or resolve plus awareness, so I will assist you.
Oh, all right.
Alright, so roll your resolve plus awareness plus 1.
Difficulty should also drop because now we don't have to worry about the dark interfering, right?
That's true. Yep. You have perfect vision in the dark. Oh. What? That didn't roll any dice. Try it again.
Yeah. Alright.
Sorry.
So click awareness, then select resolve as the second.
And don't hit
Then I-
plus in the box when you hit plus 1.
Oh, just one.
Just 1.
Boop.
Alright, 5 successes.
Perfect.
So you both kind of spend a good couple hours searching the parking lot looking for this particular wallet. You do find quite a few bits of odds and ends here and there. You do find a wallet in near possibly the other side of the whole building, and so this particular person was able to get all the way across the building before ditching the wallet, at least. And so when you open it up and you look inside, you do see that the ID and the credit cards are missing. There is nothing left inside of this.
Very well. That is all we need to find. There's no other evidence, like no footprints or anything like that, that would be obvious.
Nothing
Yes.
obvious, because a lot of this is concrete and asphalt. There wouldn't necessarily be anything of particular note, especially since it hasn't been very rainy and doesn't have any mud or anything like that lately.
Urian removes his eyes of the beast and places a hand on Wolf's shoulder. Child, you have done very well in finding this. I think you are more cut out for this than you may realize. You said that you may have someone who can trace this, yes?
He has a lot more contacts than I've ever been able to make. He knows his way around.
Fantastic. Do what you must to end up getting further information. For now, I think it is time for M to take the stage.
Speaking
Em kind of pops her head up and looks at Urian. What do you mean?
Okay. It is time to exercise your gift.
Oh. Alright. Well, tell me what to do.
I will. He looks to Wolf. This may take a moment, so if you need, go and make your contacts. We will be waiting for you in the van.
Does Wolf have a phone? That's correct, right?
I would imagine everybody has a phone, a basic phone.
Okay. He's gonna text Vince.
And
Okay.
while that happens, I am going to bring him back into the van. We are going to open up the panel and move into the back. This is where Urian prepares a piece of chalk and starts to write sacred signs. A pentagram in odd form with symbols of arcane and Greek points. A old ritual of seeing. When he ends up doing so, he places it down. Very well. I want you to focus on this spot. He looks over. I want you to focus and imagine a young man. I proceed to describe Terry. I place his wallet in her hands. I describe how he was attacked. I give her every bit of information that I am certain about. And talking about the killer's motive and methodology. The fact that the wallet was taken means that he needs money. He needs money for some place. Either he is hiding, he needs it for a reason. He is trying to hide. He must stay in the dark. He is kindred. Where would he go? He has just killed a man. He does not need to feed right away. He has a chance to reconnoiter. He needs calm. He is young, impulsive, and perhaps still coming to grips with what he has done. I need you to find us such a person. I need you to focus upon the murder of Terence Blair. And find with your gift where we must go. And Urian is going to help with what little knowledge he does have to bring the visions out. We'll go into interpretation later, but for now it is what is this vision?
Okay, so for this, you are concentrating on where this person is.
Trying to find them, yeah.
Okay.
Or who. Whatever the vision chooses, there's no control over what the vision gives you, but we're trying to find a killer here. So who,
where or
what,
who?
where.
So, how is it that you're going to assist? Is that because you're giving the information? That's the...
It is the information. It is using this occult point to help focus. It is guiding her through to try and trigger this premonition.
Okay.
So
then, M, I need you to roll me a rouse check.
Okay.
It's snarling at you.
alright.
The beast is snarling, wanting to feed, but you are able to staunch it down because a vision does come to you. So now roll me a resolve plus aspects.
Okay. So it's the, what did you want?
You're going to roll your premonition. So there's the powers that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to drop that down next to premonition. There should be the drop downs that say resolve plus discipline. You're going to click the dice next to that.
Okay. Bloop. Did that work? I'm clicking it.
Oh, it's probably asking you for
Do
modifiers.
I have any modifiers?
No.
Just one?
No modifiers.
Oh, no modifiers. Got it.
So 3 successes. So
You gonna use a willpower on that, or you satisfied with 3?
you do have one that you can reroll.
I would really like to use a willpower on that.
Oh, actually, you should be at 3 hunger now.
Oh, 3 hunger?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
To be fair, none of those dice would have come up with a 1 or a 10, so. Let's see here. Order it would it be... Yeah, she'd still be able to re-roll the 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. If you want to spend a willpower, you can do so. If not, if you're satisfied with 3, we can go with that.
So is it a willpower
Yep. And then in the box it asks you for, just hit 1.
It asks for what? Sorry?
There's a box that will come up to say how many dice you want to re-roll. And then enter 1.
And then I type 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 total successes. So you kind of enter a trance. It's as if your vision and all of your senses just go black for a moment. When you open your eyes, or at least you feel like you open your eyes, you see... It's almost as if you're seeing something from another person's perspective. It's almost like you're seeing through their eyes. You look around you, and it's an empty space. You're attacked. You look around to see if you can see the attacker, but you don't see their face. But when you focus in, brown hair. Soft. Male. A name kind of washes over you, but it doesn't stick. It doesn't stay. You follow this person. You follow them. You follow them. It seems endless. They stop. And what you see is neon lights. Starts with a V. They didn't go far. They ran. There was no vehicle. No driving. Only adrenaline. They're gonna catch me. And then the vision fades. You're back in your own body.
Invisibly comes back. She had been so peaceful and quiet, and now she seems tired as she looks up at Irian. I don't think they got very far.
You think they're close by?
I saw neon lights, and they're afraid.
They should be. Now, you said neon lights. Anything else?
Well,
A description.
brown hair. Gentle, soft. It's a guy for sure.
How tall was he? Do you remember?
I don't... Was the height described? Sorry, the chat was going in and out there.
You would say probably vaguely your own height.
How big?
Vaguely her own height. Maybe a little taller. Definitely not as short as Irian.
About average, about my size.
You said neon lights.
They don't have a car. It has to be within running distance.
I am going to take this knowledge and I am going to run it kind of over a filter. What places nearby? Was the lights, were there, was it a sign? Was it overcast? What was it?
It was just blaring neon lights.
You remember distinctly that there was a V. A red
That
V.
there what?
A red V.
Oh,
A red V. I'm going to roll intelligence and investigation, I think would be fair. I'm basically piecing together evidence that's been given to me.
Yes, go ahead and do that.
Would that...
Oh, is Wolf within earshot of this?
You can be, if you're done texting.
Okay. So I'm gonna say Wolf has like I have one in Streetwise. Would I be able to apply that in helping determining where that could be?
If you want to roll intelligence plus streetwise.
Yeah.
I will spend a willpower.
Go for it.
That is 4 successes.
4 total successes. You would understand that neon lights with a red V in particular definitely speaks of a motel. The vacancy sign. Something that would have a vacancy sign these days.
All right. You have done fantastic, Cam. And I will make sure you have your fill by night's end. You have earned your blood. And we await for Wolf to get back to us on what they may have learned.
Okay, you had been texting Vince to try and get in contact with him uh about what exactly? The blood bag situation?
Well, it's kind of between three things.
Okay.
The first thing is, well, more like two things now. The first thing was specifically if he heard of a Terrence Blair.
Okay.
See if maybe he's heard of that name somewhere before, and even further, going back on that, if maybe any recent activities, credit card wise or anything like that, but since we've already got a lead, it's a little less imperative.
Hey, don't ever discount cross-examination. Never discount it.
Valid. Aside from that, the other thing is sort of a mention of whether or not there's been any emergency medical circumstances like recent murders on the street, attackers that have been going back and forth lately, not just within Wolf's specific area, but within San Antonio, if they've been particularly gruesome or anything like that.
Okay.
And connecting that more so to EMTs not having access to blood bags and general lack of resources at the hospital. And if maybe Vince could hook Wolf up with that.
Okay. So, in regards to other attacks going on in the city, I will write something up for both you and Yorian because I don't have that right off the top of my head, but there are similar attacks, just a little more widespread, I think, than you were anticipating. There's maybe one or two other things that have popped up that seemed a little bit weird, but most of those were stabbings, gunshots, nothing particularly, quote, cleaner worthy as of this moment. There may be other things that we can dig into as far as that goes. As far as whether or not Vince knows Terrence, you would say probably not, because Terrence doesn't seem like a name that he's particularly familiar with. It's one of those things that this is a city of 2.3 million people, and the likelihood of him knowing someone is kind of slim, even though he does primarily work in this area.
Yeah, he just kind of
Lots of people come in and out of the mall. He's not entirely sure that he could actually place that person.
Yeah. Wolf is just trying to use that name as a connection to the recent runs. See, basically saying yeah, this guy came in, was a patient at one point, left, didn't really make it through. Was wondering if there was a connection to the attacks. But that's the only passing comment made.
Vince can dig further into Terrence if you want him to. It is going to be costly, and he's gonna want plenty of underground information from you if you're gonna.
It's not necessarily he wants him to look into Terrence, but more specifically, he wants Vince to look into any sort of intersecting attacks.
Similar attacks?
Folks.
Okay.
Yeah, things that seem particularly gruesome or animalistic in nature, or maybe, unnatural in some sort of way.
He can definitely do some digging. It's gonna take a few nights, like a week.
That's no problem. Wolf has time. Or, I guess Dante in this case. And what
So
about the blood? What
What
about the blood bags?
that situation would probably take the same amount of time. He's definitely going to be asking you for a lot for both of these things. Like, he wants some serious underground, like, drug hookups.
Wolf asks Vince if maybe in that exchange, if there were any jobs he would be able to manage or do for him.
Kind of jobs are you thinking? Like, nothing we can really say over the phone, right?
True. Things that are more out of the way, less involved with public eye or dealing with people directly.
You want to go snooping.
Delivery jobs, so to speak.
You want to be a drop? I mean, that's on you.
Hey, less questions asked, the better. Less work I have to do with others, the better.
Alright, you make a couple drops for me, I can get you these two things in a week.
Sounds good.
You get caught, though, it doesn't come back to me.
No problem. You know I have the reputation to cover myself.
You better. Because if I go down for this shit, oh, I'm spilling all your beans, man.
Sure thing. Thanks, Vince.
No problem, Dante.
And with that, I guess Wolf is gonna return to Urian and M.
Alright. And they have finished what they were doing in the back of the car. It looks like there's a little bit of chalk kind of dusted in a pentagram symbol that you're not entirely sure wasn't there before. It's definitely written in chalk.
Wolf just looks over at M and Urian and kind of gives them this side eye. He points down at it. Y'all into this?
If you end up struggling with the beast every night, is it so hard to believe that the Lord of Lies, the Morning Star, is so far out of reach?
I mean,
One.
at this point, I'm not even sure. Or rather, I could never really say I thought God was real.
And yet, you are damned by his curse nevertheless. So, if you are damned, perhaps our friends are only of the damned as well. Satan accepts all comers, dead or alive. Still, what did you manage to find, dear wolf?
Well, from the looks of things, it's gonna take a couple nights for my friend here to actually come up with anything regarding Terrans or any recent connecting attacks.
Fantastic.
With the blood bags for M, he looks over to her. It may also take a few days, and from that, I'm thinking I'm also gonna need to make a couple errands.
We do what we must these nights. Though, I hope you do not predispose yourself to too many events. I have quite the event planned myself. But, that's neither here nor there. We are looking for a red sign, was it, M? A vacancy in a nearby motel. The perpetrator was on foot. They could not have gone far. And if that is the case, then we must quickly move. Do you know of any motels nearby where we can begin our search?
What would I roll?
Intelligence plus streetwise.
Could you repeat that?
Intelligence plus streetwise.
Okay. Could I... never mind. I don't want to do that.
Okay. You're gonna leave it at 2?
Yeah.
Okay. What your wits streetwise? I thought I said intelligence streetwise.
I heard intelligence streetwise. That's... Oh. Did I roll? I did.
You
Whoops.
rolled too many dice, actually.
Well, let me roll again.
Okay.
Here's hoping for a better result.
Let's hope. Cross your fingers.
Intelligence and streetwise?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. Boink. Not better. Alright, now I'll use willpower.
Please not another 10. Please not another 10.
Yep, you can roll 2 dice.
Two dice.
Mm-hmm.
Boink.
Got those 2 successes at the cost of a willpower. But,
I'll take it.
no names really stand out to you just yet. It's more along the lines of you know of several locations where a red vacancy sign would be lit when there are available rooms. Most of them tend to be single-story, low-rent, kind of shitty-ass motels on the edge of your territory, and beyond. Simply put, this particular section of town is not necessarily all that tourist-based, and so a lot of the accommodations in the area tend to be inexpensive and shitholes. And that could be something that you'd want to take mental note of. And so with a bit of driving around, it's getting kind of late. It's probably pushing 2 a.m. now. If you wanted to spend a couple of hours in the near future looking for a motel that you could possibly do your search in, that would be available to you.
It's 4 a.m. now. What do you say we try giving it about 2 hours, see if we can dig around and search for a couple of these places around here, and for a couple motels in the area.
You do also...
To be clear, you said 2 a.m., right?
2
Not
a.m.
4 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
4 a.m. would be pushing close to let's go to bed.
Yeah. I was about to say, I am not risking the sun, even for your ass. I did not get this old to end up being done in a fucking mystery machine.
Yeah. With it pushing about 2:30, you probably have another hour and a half before sunrise.
I will assist. And I will use...
Well, I actually was going to call the session there, and we proceed with that next time.
Call the session?
Call the
All right.
session. Same night,
All right.
so we're not going to be changing anything, but...
But I do heal willpower because I have succeeded at a desire, correct?
Yes, you would.
So if my desire was catch the Thinblood's trail, does that mean I also...
Yep.
Yep, you are on the trail. You are free to heal a willpower, but next session you would have full willpower anyway, so.
Ooh.
Because at the start of every session you heal either your composure or your resolve in superficial willpower damage, which is marking those off. That's what that is. So, with that being said, the session is at a close. You are at a very good spot to catch your Thinblood nemesis for this particular little arc here. In that regard, we can now dole out some experience. So, everybody gets 1 for the session. And it is between all of you to determine who pushed the plot the furthest, who had the best scene, and if applicable, if there was any memorable lines or one-liners.
Wait, we all got +1 for what now?
No, you get 1 experience for the session, and then now you decide who gets the bonus experience.
Oh, okay.
So, who pushed the plot the furthest?
I'm gonna have to say Urian again.
Why is that?
Agreed.
I feel like he tends to take the lead. For the most part,
Mhm.
he's just kind of been like our teacher on this.
I hope that's not becoming resentment.
No?
Alright.
Yurian, do you have an argument against that? Or for someone else?
No, I'm not for someone else just yet. I do agree. I don't want to be. While I'm willing to drive the plot, I'm always down for somebody taking the reins. A child showing me that they have understood the lesson to the point where they can take the reins. But I will gladly accept that 1 experience point. And so the next one is best scene. I'm going to actually toss that between M and Wolf. And the reason I'm going to end up giving it to them was because of that opening scene where they're both bonding and trying to help each other. Before the hunt was, I love that scene. I love that scene. The fact that they realize that yes, we're out of our depth, so we need each other, and I think that needs to be rewarded. I'm leaning towards M because they were the focus of that primarily, and then it led to Wolf. But in all honesty, treat my vote as 1 apiece unless they can't come to a decision, in which case it shifts to M. Because I think they both did a fantastic job with that scene.
Okay. Spectre, Fluffy, what do you think?
I want to also say M on that note. There was also just like a slight part where M is just like a couple instances where M is doing like cool things. Premonition, and also just like doing the work.
She's there to help.
Praise Satan.
But yeah, no. I don't know. I hate to be that person who agrees, but I really did like that opening scene between Wolf and M. Just in the sense of like character bonding.
I love those moments, and if I have the opportunity to reward those moments, by all means. And Em and Wolf have an easier time bonding with each other because they're both in out of their depth, right? Urian is more of a teacher than somebody they bond with, though that may change in time. Right now, in their eyes, he is.
That's how they see it. Yep.
He's the old hat. He's the he's the teacher, you know. So I can definitely understand that they bond because of that, and it's fantastic.
All right, so I think that experience goes to M.
Oh, right.
Any memorable lines or one-liners of any kind?
Uh, my immediate default answer is Wolf, but I'm gonna wait for everybody else to end up saying it before I say the line.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it was between that or the "What's up, dog" that killed me off mic. Because I went off that and I'm like, oh my lord. It was so good. But I really did like the Jurassic Park reference there.
The Jurassic Park reference. That's what you pulled it from.
Life finds a way.
That yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say Wolf, but apparently Urian also has a vote. So Wolf, do you think your line was better?
I honestly can't remember a lot.
My my personal favorite, because I love this scene, is the idea of Wolf opening up the panel van, and there's M holding a dead man's wallet with a fucking pentagram between her and a fucking satanic priest, or priest of Satan. And first response from this horrible monster is, "Are you guys really into this shit?"
That was good. Oh lord.
Like, of all this horrible monster of the night looking at it runs into something that's weirder than them.
You have a point.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I can't remember a lot of things from this evening. My brain was like turning gears the whole night. Like, what can I do? What can I say? Da-na-na.
That's okay.
That's fair. So is that both of y'all thinking, agreeing on Wolf, or is there another?
Yeah.
Okay, majority rules. Wolf gets it.
Shit,
All right.
take it. Thanks.
And I think now is a very good time to spend some experience,
Oh,
if you don't mind.
What do you plan on spending your experience on, sir?
I currently have 5. I would like to spend 3.
Okay.
And I believe Lane will end up making it a lot easier, so I am going to spend it on the coterie.
Okay.
And more specifically on domain to get Lane, because I would like to call upon that to see if we can use that to end up further tracking this individual now that we have a lead.
Okay. How do you feel that you have increased the lane of the domain?
I have a ghost that currently haunts the mall, currently serving as a 24-hour perpetual spotter.
You are not wrong. You have a ghost. I would say that is valid justification for lean, sir.
A mall ghost.
That may be the case, but hey, I am first and foremost making everybody's lives a little easier.
That's true.
Because that's what Yodrian does.
Is anyone else spending experience? Or you want to... So does anyone have questions about how to spend experience and what you want to spend it on?
Yes, all the questions.
All of the questions, okay.
All of them.
Alright, so go ahead and start.
How many experience do you have, Wolf?
So
3, if I recall.
1 is from the first session, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I kind of clean swept that one last time, so.
Yeah. Alright.
There's a convenient little tab on the character sheet for blood and XP where you can store, like, keep track of what your experience points are. So that you don't have to, like, keep it in your notes or anything like that. That's convenient on your character sheet.
Alrighty. So I guess the first thing is, what is the experience amount for like traits versus skills versus
So for
powers
so for
or
traits,
disciplines?
it's 5 times the new level. So say if you were to increase your manipulation to 2 dots, then it would be 10 experience. For skills, it is 3 times the new level. So if you were to take 1 level of, say, intimidation, it would be 3 experience. A specialty is 3 experience flat. And disciplines, if you wanted to take a new power, would be the new level times 5 for clan, and you don't have the ability to take anything outside of your clan right now.
Okay. Alright. Well, on that note.
Or if you want to take backgrounds, it's 3 experience per dot flat.
Yeah.
Oh. That's
So, a simple example, right? Despite the fact we already had 2 dots in lane, I decided to boost it up to 3 by spending the experience since we had justification to do so. So I'm kind of always looking for justification to spend experience. So our mechanics kind of back up what we've already done, or something that was not an obvious skill. So since Wolf's never taken the wheel, you could technically spend it on drive, and we would never know that they've always been a good driver. It's just the sheet just got updated so that it's accurate.
I kind of did that with Mouse once.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is all very good to know.
Yeah.
What do you have an idea of what you want to spend it on? That's the question. Because then I can walk you through that if you want.
Trust me, I was this close to spending it on a discipline. I was this close, but no, we're gonna start. We're gonna start by making sure that the coterie is set.
Right.
I think I'm going to examine what I have available and get back to you on the spending thing.
Perfectly fair.
Does M have anything?
Does Emmett have enough experience to spend on anything, or not?
I don't think I do. I think I only have 2.
You got 2 from today? Yes?
Did I have 1 last session or
Yep.
no?
Yeah, you get
You
1
get
for every
1 by
session by
default.
default.
So you could get a single background right now if there's a particular background you think you would have, or you've developed further, or whatever. I just chose to put mine in the coterie first, but do not be afraid to give yourself something special if you're thinking, for instance, right, like you could also take a specialty in a skill. So, for instance, right, maybe your awareness, you have an additional dot if you're going by scent.
I think I'll think on it.
Okay.
Definitely get back to peeps on it.
Yeah, if you come up with anything conceptually, then I can definitely assist you in what that would mean mechanically.
Yeah. I hope you did appreciate that play, though, Coffee.
Which one?
I hope you did appreciate that play. How if Urian is going to take this coterie of people who don't know what the hell they're doing and watch me turn them into the Scooby-Doo gang. We even got a mystery machine.
And you have a ghost now.
Ghost!
This is Vampire the Masquerade Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. But, yeah, we will, so, yeah.
Yeah,
we are literally abusing the fact that we have ghosts.
Yep, and that is 100% legit.
Darn you kids and your dog.
You mean our ghost?
You mean
No,
Wolf?
our dog. No, we definitely mean our dog.
How did you guys enjoy the session?
Oh, you want to know what? This is fantastic, and I cannot wait to get a hold of this freaking Thinblood because oh god, the plans,
Oh
the
god, the plans.
plans.
I'm anxious.
Why?
Wolf doesn't know what your plans are, but Wolf also has his own plans. His plans is let's try not to get into a fight. Let's maybe like just talk this kid into like going to the Baron. I don't know. Maybe vying for his well-being.
That's cute, kid.
Wolf is just like not wanting people to die. He's a doctor. This is what he does. Help people not die.
That's entirely fair. That's entirely fair.
Then I will assure you that Urian's plans mean that everybody lives. You're now officially a part of that on an out of character level. You are now officially a part of that.
Oh, okay.
Because this is what you wanted, so I'm gonna make sure you get it.
Sounds excellent.
I hope you all enjoyed.
I did. I had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I actually
Go ahead.
felt fairly good about the session, even though I was severely underprepared.
It's okay. Let me put this into perspective, okay? We have a Nosferatu, right? Already information dealers by trade. Like, they're very good at being able to get in and out of places they're not supposed to and be able to hear stuff that they really shouldn't be in the room for, right? By default, we have somebody who is supposed to be good with information. However, we now also have a politically savvy Tremere.
It's true.
Which now all of a sudden can grab information from different sects and what have you and pull it all together.
Magic and ghosts too. So
yeah, is able to speak with ghosts and all this kind of shit. So that doesn't help, right? Because the second it becomes a murder, it's we're going to talk to the witness. There was no witnesses. There was the victim. What? Yeah. So we're going to get that. And eventually, one of those witnesses is not going to end up saying, he attacked me from behind. While that's typical, it's going to eventually be, I knew who the son of a bitch was. Like, well, that just made our day. And then, right, if that wasn't bad enough, we have a Malkavian. And the Malkavian may not be aware they have the answers, but the more information we feed this Malkavian, the easier it is for them to find things. And because of this, we now have this particular interesting insight machine. So, literally, this coterie is designed by its own nature to be able to find secrets and leverage them very quickly.
Yes.
So I love this coterie. I am so excited about this coterie.
I'm digging it. Digging all of it. I was half a person, and now I feel like I'm a full person now.
And I'm so pleased with Em and Wolf, and there's a part of my brain right now. Don't think I've forgotten about you two. I am trying to think on how do we do this in such a way to make sure Em and Wolf get fed tonight in the process of this. Because if the dominoes are set just right, and we get just a little bit of luck, everybody walks away with being only at one hunger at the end of the night, and we will be owed heavily. And if not, at the very least, we will be in a better position than you ever thought possible.
We shall see. We shall see. I want to thank all of the viewers who are still sticking around that have been with us for as long as they have been. If you haven't already, please hit the follow button. I will love you forever and you'll be a cool cat. Because I'm cheesy. It's weird. But yeah, thank y'all so much for coming by. And this has been episode 2 of San Antonio by Night. I appreciate all of you. And we are going to go ahead and shut the stream down and see if there's somebody to raid tonight. Probably not. Oh, Journeyman's still going. So we're going to go ahead and go raid Journeyman, one of my favorite art streamers, who is delightful. And
Journeyman!
He sucks!
And J-Man sucks. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the end credits, and then we will, I will do the raid commands, and we will go hit Journeyman up for some art. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you all have a good night. Say good night, everybody.
Night!
Night.
Night.